Hi everyone, my name is Veda Spidle and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with all of you to practice gentle yoga and sound healing. For those of you that have asked about donations to me directly, you can donate to paypal.me/the Karuna Tree. And if you're not able to donate, that's completely fine. Please continue to practice with me as I enjoy this so much to be able to support you in your practice, and I get to practice with all of you. So for today's class, we will be doing some standing poses. Make sure that you have a steady surface to practice on, safe footing, 2 to 3 yoga blankets or 3 to 4 bath towels. If you don't have yoga blankets, that's fine. You can have an extra blanket for the end for shavasana and the sound healing portion. And you can also have an eye pillow. If you don't have that, you can grab a folded face towel in its place. So we're going to come into a comfortable seat to start. I recommend sitting elevated on a folded blanket or two, a pillow if you have that. And you can sit cross-legged, you don't have to. You can sit with your legs out in front of you. You can sit with your feet to the floor, knees bent, sit up tall. It's going to look different from person to person. So set yourself up and close the eyes. Let's take a sigh breath. One more. And feel yourself settle into the space that you're in. Allowing any distractions to fall to the background. You can use the opportunity of every distraction that may show up as a way to focus in on your breath and on your practice. Settle into your body. Feel the air on the skin. And take a moment to acknowledge yourself, that you're here for your practice, you showed up for your self-care. And whatever your practice looks like today, that's okay. Your best is enough. And that can change from day to day. Take a moment to energetically acknowledge your fellow yogis, your Thursday evening yoga practice group. Energetically sending love to family, friends, and other communities that you're a part of. Feel that connection. And bring your attention again to yourself and now to your breath. Allow every inhale to gently expand the belly. It builds up into the ribs and the chest. And as you exhale, release the breath from the top down. Feel the breath rise. It builds from the base up. And feel it go from the top down. Breathe without strain. Let the breath move with ease. Today we'll be focusing on hip openers, releasing tension in the hips and some in the low back. See if you can have your breath feel as if it builds from the pelvic floor up towards the throat. And from the throat area down, deepening the breath. Energetically anchor down through the sitting bones. You can imagine your roots wrapping around the core of the earth. The spine elongated, the top of the head over the pelvic floor. And bring the hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. We'll begin with 3 rounds of Om. You can join, you can hum, you can just listen. Let's first inhale together. Let it go. And inhale. The eyes can remain closed, releasing the hands to the lap, palms down, and beginning torso circles, hinge forward at the hips, and start counterclockwise, drawing circles with the top of the head around the hips. And the size of the circles are up to you and your body. Please modify as you need to. Make sure that you're not doing anything today that doesn't feel good for you. And reverse direction. And come back to neutral spine. Change the cross of the feet. If you're sitting cross-legged, readjust your hips if needed. Leveled across the pelvis. Sit tall, shoulder rolls. Inhale, shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale them back and down. And do that a few more times, moving the shoulders with the breath. And reverse, drawing the shoulder blades up the back with an inhale. Exhale, forward and down. A few more. Let the hands remain relaxed. Have this movement come from the shoulders. Reverse once, reset. And release the breath. Hinge forward again. Clockwise circles now. Top of the head, drawing circles around the hips. And there's different variations of this. So if you have a different variation that you like to practice, you're welcome to do it. The idea here is that we're helping to loosen up the spine, starting to feel the energetic grounding even more through the hips, reverse direction. So just be aware of your foundation, your base. We'll be working with that awareness for the whole class. And return to neutral spine, top of the head over the pelvic floor. Sit tall, 3 shoulder shrugs. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, let them drop. 2 more. Beautifully done. And then transition to table, all fours coming onto your hands and knees. Now, if you need it, you can open up support for underneath the knees, a little bit of cushion. And then land your wrists underneath the shoulders, the fingers wide. Knees underneath the hips, thigh bones create a number 11. Let the tops of the feet right now rest to the floor. Working into our cat-cows, moving from the tailbone. Inhale, tailbone scoops up, belly drops, heart gaze lifts. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale into cow. Exhale, cat. Moving from the hips. Feel the movement originate from the tailbone. And I'll return to neutral spine, tuck the toes under, inhale again into cow, belly drops, heart gaze lifts. And as you exhale, round through cat, keep the legs parallel, hip to heels. Feeling the stretch in the feet. Inhale, glide forward into cow. Exhale, round and press back. 2 more. Moving with your breath at a pace that feels right for you. And then return to neutral spine, table, untuck the toes, bring the legs in towards midline. They can touch or not, that's fine either way. Just have the feet closer than hip width apart. Widen the hands slightly, drawing hip circles. Now, so we're guiding the hips around the knees. Elbows can bend if needed. You might feel the knees gently move from side to side as you draw these circles. It's really normal. Reverse direction. Remember, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And then come back to center with the spine. Widen the hands a little bit more, hip release. Draw the low belly in towards the low back so we're supporting the low spine. Relax the heart down. Gaze is about 1 foot on center in front of the hands. And then our hip release, letting the hips now fall side to side. Elbows can bend if needed. Keep the hands and knees in contact with the floor. The idea here is to feel a release in the hips, but we're not necessarily trying to touch the floor. About once more to each side. When that feels even to both sides, return to center, child's pose, big toes touch, knees go wide. If you have a blanket support underneath the knees, you can drape the tops of the ankles over the back end of the blanket, toenails to the floor. You can also put an extra support between your hips and heels. This will give some space in the knee joint, and then walk the upper body forward, coming down to the forehead. If that doesn't feel good, you can stack your hands into fists. Now, for those of you that find this to be too much pressure on the knees, you can return to table, keeping the hips stationary. Walk the upper body forward as if you were taking puppy, maybe bringing the forehead to the floor. Another option is laying on your back and hugging the knees to the chest. So we're here for about a minute. This pose helps to relieve the spine. You might find it helpful in relieving pressure in the back. And it helps us to begin to open up the hips. Check in now with the quality of your breath. See if you can feel the breath expand the back body. So the whole torso is inflating and deflating as you breathe. The breath still feeling as if it originates from the pelvic floor and then expands upwards towards the throat. And releasing the breath from the throat all the way down to the hips. A few more breaths. Relax the face, relax the jaw, but keep breathing through the nose if you can. Now this is a pose that you can come to at any time. You can stay here for as long as you need to. If you're ready to move along, we meet in table. Slowly bring yourself up and let the breath go as you readjust. Then tuck the toes under. We're in table. And lift the right leg out to the side. So you can't really see me. I'll show you with my left leg. All right, so you're lifting it out to the side and draw circles. So we're working with the right leg. Lifting it out to the right and drawing circles with the knee. Reverse direction. And then release the leg. Do the same on the other side. Lift the left out to the side, drawing circles. And reverse. Size of the circles up to you and your body. Remember to meet yourself where you're at. And then return to table. From table, we build lunge. Step the right leg through between the hands. You might find it helpful to bump up on the fingertips as if there's a tennis ball under the hands. Back toes tuck under. When you inhale, float the back knee off the floor. Press out through the back heel. Take a breath. And then with your inhale, heart gaze, reach forward. And as you exhale, straighten the front leg and maybe fold. Few more of these. So this helps us to get into the hamstrings, which can help a lot with the tightness that we might feel in the hips and through the low back. Bringing in a gentle stretch into the hamstrings, waking up the back of the legs. You might feel it through the right glutes. About one more. Beautifully done. Front knee bends. Spin the back heel in and down. We're building side angle. Front heel to back arch alignment. The back edge of your left foot parallel to the short end of the mat. Your right hand can come to the inside of the right leg. Left hand to the left hip. Maybe the right forearm comes to the right thigh instead. Make sure the right knee is pointing forward in line with the toes. It's right over its ankle. You're still pressing down through the outer edge of the back foot, letting the hips open, stacking the shoulders. And if you want to go a little bit further, you can bring your left arm up to the sky. Steady the breath. Two more breaths here. Shaking is normal. Keep breathing. Root down through the feet. Inhale up, warrior two. Foundation stays the same. Shoulders are open in the same direction as the hips. Gaze, your head turns, so your gaze is at the middle finger of the right hand. Another breath. We're feeling our quads now, our thighs. Straighten the front leg without locking the knee. Open the front palm in a reverse triangle. Another breath. Inhale, come up with the upper body. And as you exhale, reach forward with the right hand and then bring it down towards the floor, coming into triangle. Left hand to the left hip or the left arm to the sky. Keep breathing. Inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly unwind, return to lunge. Hips are squared forward now in the direction of the toes. Right hand to the right hip, taking a twist in your lunge. Keep the hips leveled. Begin to twist the body to the right and stack the shoulders. Maybe right arm comes to the sky or goes to the sky. Another breath. And as you exhale, slowly release the right hand, back knee touches down, glide the hips back, coming into half splits. You're on the back of the right heel. The right toes are drawing towards the right knee. Reach the heart forward and then maybe fold a little deeper. So now we're going to feel a more intense stretch in the right hamstrings. Keep the shoulder blades hugging towards the spine. Keep the spine elongated. Two more breaths. Smile if you ever find yourself not breathing deeply enough. And walk the hands forward. And then come into table. Let's take a sigh breath. Let's do the other side. Left leg comes through, in line with the hands. Come up on the fingertips if that supports you. Back knee floats off the floor. Press out through the back heel. Square the hips in the same direction that the toes are pointing. Lengthen the spine and make it dynamic. Inhale, heart gaze, reach the horizon. Exhale, straighten the front leg and maybe fold. Few more. So we want to move with our breath. One side might feel different than the other, and that's okay. Keep moving, keep breathing. About one more. Front knee bends, the center of the knee tracking through the center of the ankle, which is about the second toe. Back heel spins in and down. We're building side angle, front heel to back heel alignment. Right hand to the right hip. Left hand can go to the inside of the left leg or forearm to the thigh. Letting the hips open. Stacking the shoulders. Maybe right arm to the sky. Keep breathing. Feeling the feet rooted. You're pressing down through the outer edge of the right foot. Hips are open. Another breath. Now see if you can keep the legs as they are. Inhale to come up, warrior two. Hips and shoulders open in the same direction. Gaze to the middle finger of the left hand. All right, so we want to feel a little bit of a burn here in our thighs. Nice work. Straighten the front leg, open the front palm, reverse your triangle. Inhale, come up, and then reach forward with the left hand, and then right arm can go to the sky. Open up. Looking upwards, you can look out to the horizon or down to the floor. Just depends on your knee, on your neck. Another breath. And with your exhale, slowly unwind, return to lunge. And with your inhale, open up, lunge twist. Let the breath keep moving. And with your exhale, slowly release. Back knee touches down. Glide the hips back. Half splits. Reach the heart forward. You'll notice when you lengthen the spine, you'll feel a stretch here through the left buttocks. You might feel it in the hamstrings. Gentle stretch here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, fold. Another breath. And then walk the hands forward and return to table. Beautiful work, guys. So we come into table. You can do side to side hip releases. You can do hip circles or child's pose. We have about a minute here in transition. Tune in with your body. Notice what you need. Check in with your breath. See if you can physically allow yourself to release unnecessary gripping in the low back and the hips. A few more deep breaths wherever you're at. Feel the breath moving. Every exhale releasing unnecessary tension. Letting it go. And we'll meet in table when you're ready. Now from here, going a little bit deeper into the hip openers, coming from table, you'll bring the right hand to midline, so both hands are closer now, and the right leg goes to the outside of the right hand, so both hands are on the inside of the right leg. And now you have an option here with your back leg. You can keep the knee down. You might want to be above the kneecap, or you might choose to use this as an opportunity for strength building, lifting the back knee off the floor. Your choice. Now you'll either stay here with the hands. You might come down to the forearms. If you have blocks, you can put blocks underneath the arms. Just make sure that both arms are at the same height. Both forearms, both elbows, same height. Squeezing the right knee in towards the body, feeling the opening into the right hip, the right hamstrings, the right glutes. Check in with your breath. Makes it really easy here to want to hold your breath. Keep breathing. You have about 2 more breaths. And then slowly walk the hands up. Keep the leg where it is. Lift the back knee off the floor. Spin the back heel in and down. Front heel to back arch alignment. Same as we did earlier with the legs. And now walk the upper body out at an angle. So your front knee is still staying over its ankle. It's pointing in the direction of the right toes. Outer edge of the left foot is parallel to the short end of the mat. Lengthen the spine. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards the spine. Maybe the hands come to the floor, palms down, taking a gentle bow. And then slowly continue to walk the hands now to the left, coming into your wide-legged standing forward fold. The right leg turns in, and then slightly pigeon-toed with the feet. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, fold. Hands can stay on the floor. You can also have your hands to the outer edges of the thighs, the shins, the feet. See if you can relax the toes. About 2 more breaths here. Let the upper body be heavy. And then press yourself upright. Halfway, release the breath, and then walk towards the right foot again, coming into lunge, back knee touches down, and table. Now we're going to do the other side. I'm going to spin around so it's a little bit easier to watch me. And now step your left foot to the outer edge of the left hand. Both hands now are closer together. Left hand is more at midline. Back knee can lift up, or you can keep the back leg down. And same as we did just on the other side, we are either staying on our hands, maybe coming down to the forearms, to blocks if you have them. And we breathe. So notice what sensations are coming up for you. Notice if the hips are talking. If you're in pain, you might need to readjust. If it's a sensation of stretching, of releasing tension, breathe with it. Relax the jaw. Two more breaths. All right, sometimes these uncomfortable poses can be what we need to break through resistance, can be what we need to break through tension. Another breath. Beautifully done. Back knee can touch down for a moment if it was lifted. Walk the upper body up or lift your upper body up, and then you're on the palms. Lift the back knee up, spin the back heel in and down, and now walk the upper body out at an angle. Keep the left knee over its ankle. Lengthen the spine. Relax the jaw again. Another breath. And now walk towards center again, standing wide-legged forward fold. Pigeon toe the feet slightly, lengthen the spine, coming up halfway, and then as you exhale, fold. If you want to go a little bit further for the shoulders, you can bring the hands to the low back, interlace the fingers, lengthen the spine, fold a little deeper, reaching the clasp towards the sky. Keep the shoulder blades working towards the pelvis, and the clasp maybe goes overhead. Relax the jaw again. Right, I say these cues because I notice they happen for me too. So we relax the face muscles, we relax the jaw. It can help to release that unnecessary gripping in the body. Two more breaths. And slowly releasing the hands to the floor, come up halfway, release the breath. And now returning to the left leg, coming into lunge. Back knee touches down and table. I'm going to spin around again so we're facing in the direction we started in, child's pose. Take a sigh breath. One more for good measure. Let stuff go. When you're ready, press up to table. And we make our way into lunge with the right leg. Step the hand through. With your inhale, float the back knee off the floor. Take a breath here. And then look in front of you, a point that's stationary, and inhale, step the left leg forward, stay folded, and then exhale, fold the upper body. Keep a deep bend in the knees. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Hands can go to the hips, deeper bend in the knees. Inhale to rise. Exhale, release the arms. And I'm going to turn to face you so it's easier for you to see me. Check that your feet are about hip width apart. Toes pointing forward. Center of the knees tracking through the center of the ankles, which is about the second toe. So what we're doing with the lower body can help a lot with how we're supporting our hips. If you're standing with your knees knocking in, this can cause a lot of stress in hips and your low back. So check that your knees are pointing forward. Hips over knees and ankles. Stand tall, take a breath. Inhale, arms up, palms touch overhead. Exhale to the right, I'm mirroring you. Side stretch. Inhale, come up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, come up. Bring the hands down through midline and to the hips. Working into tree pose, Rikshasana. Bend the right knee and spin the right leg open. It's an external rotation on the right leg. The sole of the foot can land at the standing ankle without putting pressure on the ankle. You can go up to the calf or to the inner left thigh at the groin. So finding the position that feels right for you. Hip points are squared forward. Right leg is opening. Hands to the hips or the heart. Maybe the arms to the sky. So winds might come and go. Your tree might sway. It's okay. Feel yourself rooted down through your feet. Feel your hips stable, your breath steady. And if you fall over, it's okay. You can get back up. Another breath. And slowly release. So we're just working right now with the right side. Now you can take tree pose again if you want to work a little bit more with balancing. Take a deep bend in both knees. Bring the right knee up and open it over to the right. Taking a standing number 4, letting the right ankle go on the opposite thigh. Oh, well, I'm not mirroring you right now, but that's okay. I'm working with my right leg. Okay, sitting down to your imaginary chair. Just make sure we do both sides. Now, if you're in tree pose, you can take tree again. Otherwise, maybe hands come together at the heart. Maybe the hands go to the inner right shin. Shaking is normal. Wherever you're at, see if you can do 2 to 3 more breaths. Keep the jaw relaxed. Smile if you need to. Shaking is normal. Deep muscles are working. Right hip is opening. And inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Beautifully done. We meet in standing. Inhale, the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, side stretch to the right. Now I'm mirroring you. Inhale, come up. And exhale to the other side. A little added brain work here for all of us. Come back to center and release. So we're at the front end of our mat. Take a deep bend in the knees, arms by your sides, downhill skier. Another breath here. Deeper bend in the knees until the hands can touch down to the floor in line with the feet. Step the right leg back, lunge. And then left arm opens up to the sky, lunge twist. Exhale, release. Back knee touches down, table. And take a full breath here. Sigh if you need to. Now we do the other side. Left leg comes through. Take lunge. Find a still point just in front of you if that helps you with this transition. Inhale, step forward into your fold. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Keep a bend in the knees. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Deeper bend in the knees. Hands can go to the thighs or the hips. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, now bend to the left. Inhale, up. Exhale, lengthen to the right. Inhale, come up. And hands come down through midline to the hips, building tree now on the other side, working with our left leg, or whichever leg you didn't do. Bend the left knee, open the leg out to the side, find the position, the modification or variation that works for you. Try to mirror what you did on the other side if you can. All right, so you're at the ankle, the calf, never the knee, or at the thigh. Hip point squared forward. Hips leveled, hands to the heart center, to the sky, wherever feels right for you. Feel the rooting down through the feet. Feel the steadiness in your breath. Feel the legs, the hips supporting you, holding you. Another breath. And release. Beautifully done. Now again, you can take tree pose or we take standing number 4. For number 4, you bend into the knees. Bend the left knee up, open it out to the side, stacking the ankle on the opposite thigh. Begin to bend into the standing knee. Hands can come to the heart, maybe hinging forward as you're sitting down into an imaginary chair. Maybe the hands go, the arms on the inside of the left leg at the shin. One side might feel different than the other, totally normal. Check in with your breath. Beautifully done. Inhale, come up and release. Nice job, guys. This time, bring your hands at the low back, interlace for a clasp, thumb pads press. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale here. 2 more breaths, breathing through the nose if you can. Hips are leveled. And release. From the front of our mat, palms face forward. Take a deep bend in the knees. Remember, center of the knees, tracking forward. Legs are parallel to each other, downhill skier, slight angle on the spine, about 45, 35 degrees. Another moment here. And then deeper bend in the knees until the hands touch down to the floor. Left leg steps back, lunge. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Release the breath here, stay here. With your next exhale, release the hand to the floor. Back knee touches down, table. Few breaths here in transition. You can do your hip release, side to side. You can do hip circles, cat-cows, or child's pose. If it's in your practice, you can do down dog as well. About 2 more breaths. For those of you not familiar with down dog, you start from table, toes tuck under, and hips lift up and back. You can have a deep bend in the knees if you need it. And then we come to seated. If you want to open up a blanket for the length of your body or your mat, go ahead and do that now. And then come to seated with the legs open wide. Now, if you find that you need extra support for your posture, please sit up on a folded blanket, a light pillow. If you're sitting up higher, please put support underneath your knees, especially put support under your knees if your hamstrings are really tight, if your low back is talking. Rooted through the sitting bones, hands can be behind you, lengthen the spine. A breath. Point and flex the feet. And then toes point upright. If this is enough, stay here. Otherwise, taking a fold forward. Hands can go to the pelvis to help yourself with tilting the pelvis forward so your weight goes more on the front end of the sitting bones. Hands in front of you, shoulder blades hugging towards the spine, leading forward with the base of the breastbone. Toes still pointing upright. Keep the chin drawn back if you tend to lead with the head. So we're going to be here for about 10 to 15 breaths. Find your safe edge where you can still breathe comfortably. If your breath is hindered, you're going too far for your body. So please listen to your body, pay attention to your breath, and check in with the sensations. See if you can feel the muscles in the low back. Relax. Relax the hips here. Taking this a little bit more in the direction of yin, where we go into deeper stretching and we let gravity take over the pose. Keep breathing. If you're uncomfortable with the stretch, see if you can hang out with it. If you're in pain, please readjust. Few more breaths. I'm here with you. When you're ready, hands pressed to the floor. Inhale to bring yourself up. Exhale here. And then bring your hands underneath the knees, bend the knees, feet come together, knees drop open. Now, depending on your body, you might find it to be helpful to have support underneath the outer edges of the knees and to also sit up on a folded blanket or a pillow. Hands can go to the base of the knees. They can go to the front of the shins or at the ankles. It just depends on how close the heels come in towards the body. Try to keep the spine elongated, shoulder blades towards the spine. Sit tall for a moment. Deep breathing. Have the breath start from the base. Build it up as if you're filling a glass of water, and the breath releases from the top down. If you want to go further, soles of the feet are pressing together. Knees press away from each other. Hands can come to the floor on fingertips, shoulder blades hugging towards the spine and folding forward. If you're sitting up high, your fold forward won't go as far as for someone who might be sitting on the ground in terms of needing to pay attention to your knees and what's happening with the ankles. So just make sure that you're not going past any places where the body says stop. But what's really cool about sitting up higher is that it can help to open up the hips. So there's some trade-offs there. Wherever you're at is okay. 2 more breaths. And then press yourself up. Draw the knees together as if closing a book. Separate the feet wide. One-legged windshield wipers. Drop the right knee in towards the opposite ankle. I'm mirroring you. And then switch. So one leg at a time. And again, if you're sitting up higher, you might not be able to touch the knee to the floor. You might not be able to touch the knee to the floor anyway, and that's completely fine. Just make sure you're not overdoing anything in the hip joint. We're trying to do these gentle movements so the muscles relax, so the gripping ceases to exist. If you're sitting up really high and trying to touch the knees to the floor, your body might go into protective mode and tighten the muscles. But once more on each side. And the knees point up, heel toe the feet in towards midline, and then we make our way to our back. You can have support off to the side for later. You can use your hands to bring yourself down. If you want a little bit of core work here, feet to the floor, toes point forward, legs parallel, arms come up, shoulder blades hug together, and then draw the navel toward the lumbar spine, the low back, tuck the tailbone, and come down 1 vertebra at a time. And then once you're down, hug the knees into the chest. And rock side to side. And draw knee circles opposite of each other. And reverse. Squeeze the knees in, maybe float the forehead up to meet the knees and take a full body stretch. And draw the right knee into the chest. Left leg remains extended. If you need to, you can always take a slight bend in the left knee. Inhale, the left leg floats up, sole of the foot towards the sky. Exhale, foot releases down, or the leg releases down. Do this a few more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And the next time the leg goes up towards the sky, bend the knee, hug it in, full body stretch. Hug the left knee into the chest. We switch sides. Right leg floats up, right leg lowers. About 3 more. The inhale up, the exhale down. And the next time the leg goes up, hug the knee into the chest, squeeze, and full body stretch. Point and flex the feet, keep stretching. And then bend the knees, feet to the floor. And now let the right leg, or have the right leg come into the chest and come into your number 4. Right ankle goes on the opposite thigh, arms by your sides, palms up. If you want more, interlace the fingers behind the left thigh, hugging the left knee in towards the chest. Right knee is pressing away. What's your breath doing? I'm laughing because I was holding mine for a moment. And now keep the number 4, left foot touches down to the ground, arms by your sides, palms up. You can go into letter T or cactus, and then take number 4 windshield wiper side to side. You can touch the floor here with the legs or not, up to you and your hips. Number 4 windshield wipers, as I call them. Now come back with the left foot to the floor and allow the right leg to continue to slide to the left until the knees are stacked. Now if you want to, you can wrap the right foot behind the left calf or the ankle. You don't have to, you can just let it hang. Press down through the foot that's touching the floor, float the hips up, hips to the right, hips down, and let the knees fall to the left. If that's confusing at first, that's fine. It just takes a moment to get used to that. It keeps the spine in line. And then head can turn to the right. So we want to feel that stretch through the right low back, through the right hip, maybe using your left hand to deepen the stretch. And come up, unwind, feet to the floor, knees bent, take a breath. Now other side, left knee hugs in, and number 4. Take the same variation you took on the other side. Deep breathing. Relax the jaw. Feel yourself beginning to slow down. Keep the number 4, release the right foot to the ground, arms by your sides, palms up, and let the legs go side to side. And come back to center. Now let the left leg continue to slide to the right until the knee stacks over the other knee. Foot can dangle, or the foot can wrap behind the right leg. Really normal here to get confused in the beginning. The left and right hemispheres of the brain are working this out. Now press down through the foot that's on the floor. Float the hips up and to the left. Lower hips down and knees to the right. Gaze can go to the left. Easy breathing here. Inhale, come up. Exhale, unwind. Take a breath, let the hips settle. You can even shake them side to side. And full body stretch. And release the arms by your sides. You can from here go straight into Shavasana. Let the heels be 6 to 12 inches apart. Let the feet drop open. You can put support under your head. You can put a heavy blanket or pillow across the hips, eye pillow, and maybe support underneath the knees if your low back needs that. Another option for today is taking bound angle, continuing with the hip release. Just know that this is not traditional Shavasana. Shavasana is the resting corpse pose where the legs are out. But if you want to rest with the knees open, just put support underneath the outer edges of the legs. Please do that for this resting portion, as this allows the muscles to relax and the body to relax. So your body doesn't have to hold you in this shape. So if you're doing soles of the feet together, knees open, put support underneath the outer edges of the legs. And take a few moments here to set yourself up, making any other adjustments that you need to. You're going to hear me kind of bring the bowls into the screen. Let yourself begin to settle. Feel all the muscles of the body relax. Allowing yourself to surrender to gravity. Releasing any effort with the breath. Letting the breath move on its own. This is the time in your practice where all of the work integrates, where the prana, the life force, the energy moves more freely through your body, and all you have to do is just be. Allow yourself to let go. returns to the breath. Into the body. Begin to wiggle the toes and the fingers, opening and closing the hands as if you're squeezing sponges. Point and flex the feet. Full body stretch, and then take windshield wipers or hug the knees into the chest. Slow awakening. Roll over to your comfortable side in the fetal position when you feel ready to do so, but keep the eyes closed if you can, and take care to support your head with a blanket, pillow, or your bottom arm. Deep in the breath. And keeping the eyes closed, when you feel ready, slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bring the hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Feeling yourself steady and rooted. Energy flowing freely through the body and the hips. And from that steady foundation, growing taller. And we'll close with a single sound of Om. Receive your breath. Om. Bowing head to heart in honor of each other, ourselves, and this practice. Thank you so much today for being here, for yourself, each other, and for giving me the honor of guiding your practice. Namaste.